Hello YouTube friends, today we are going to be making some quick and simple Christmas cards using the Gingerbread Christmas range. If you don't know me, I'm Sarah and I design and make my own range of papercraft supplies. You can find everything that I'm talking about in this video on my website, which is stickerkitten.co.uk, and we also have an Etsy shop. So let's get started making some cards. So to start with, I've got out some cards that I made earlier, just to give you an idea of how you can use the papers and the ephemera together. So these are all made using the card kit, and I'm going to do one from scratch now just to show you how quick and easy it is to make cards. So I want to use the Candy Swirl paper from this pack, it's one of my favourites. And to get the size right for the background piece, I use the card as a template to draw around. And then when I cut it out, you can use scissors, but I like this giant big craft knife. I normally trim it a bit smaller than the line that I've drawn, and that's so that it leaves a nice white border when I glue it onto the card blank. I'm quite used to doing this by eye, but if you like things to be quite precise, you can measure it. But I find that when it comes to handmade cards, you know, things don't have to be absolutely perfect. See, I think that looks pretty good, and that's by eye. But then I don't know if that's because I'm used to doing things by eye now, because I've been making cards for so many years. But even so, I still end up with some wonky designs, but I don't let it bother me too much. I just tend to say that's what makes it handmade, the fact that it's not quite perfect. Once I've got my background piece stuck down, sometimes I like to lay them up. So for example, on this card I have a background panel and a piece on top. Same with this one. And I do that by using the background piece that I've cut as a template to cut the smaller piece. But for this one I'm just going to have one layer. And then I like to arrange the pieces on the card and see what looks best before I stick anything down. So because these are small cards, they're 4 by 4 inches, you don't need to put a lot on them to make them look complete, so sometimes just 2 pieces is enough. I might have a little gingerbread man stood outside his gingerbread house. And then we could have maybe a couple of little sweets. Does that one blend in too much? Should we have them like that? Then once I'm happy with the arrangement, I then stick them down. Let me find my foam squares. What have I done with them? I knew I had some that I'd already started using. Here we go. They were on the floor because I've been crafting with my daughter. She's 2, but gotta get her into crafting early. She's very sweet. She likes to do the glue. She likes to stick the pieces on. She does it very neatly, especially compared to my son. He just wanted to mix glue and paint and tip out whole bags of sequins and buttons at a time and mix them all into a great big goopy mess. He's a bit better now, he's 4.5. We can we can do some slightly more structured crafts. I don't mind the messy play, but I just have to be prepared for it. If your foam squares are too big, you can just trim them down. I need to snip a little bit off. There we go. Let's have this little guy here. Move him up a bit, just outside the front of his house. And then we just need to add the sweets. I'm not going to show you another 3 cards of this size because I think you get the idea. But what I do want to show you next is how to use the papers themselves to create card blanks once you've used up the ones that come with the kit. And of course, if you don't want to make your own, you can grab a pack of card blanks from your local craft shop. You might want to get like different sizes depending on what you like. 4x4 is a really sweet size for quick Christmas cards. I also like 5x5, which is, I think I've got one here. I think this is 5x5, which is bigger. It's also a really nice size for cards. I find 6x6 a little bit big. I like A6, which is this size. I find it easy to design for A6 size cards. Okay, so that's that one done. Got our sweet little gingerbread house and our little gingerbread man. Pop that to one side. And then, so what I like to do to make card blanks with the patterned papers is choose one for the outside and one for the inside. So for the outside, let's see. I'm going to go for Christmas trees. And then for the inside, sometimes if I've got a pattern that's plain enough to write on, I'll use that for the inside. But if not, I'll make a panel that you can write your greeting on. I'll show you what I mean by that when we get to that bit. Okay, so let's have trees for, or do I want stripes for the outside? I might do stripes outside and trees inside. So for the outside piece, you're going to fold it in half. I'll try and do it as neatly as I can. So you want the design on the outside, and then for the inside piece, same, but you want the design on the inside, and then you're going to glue them together. So they're going to fit like that, and that will make you a mini slimline card blank, and these will fit inside an A6 envelope. So it will fit inside an envelope like that. Not perfectly, but this is a common size. So unless you like making your own envelopes and you know how to make them, I actually don't. It's something I want to learn. I don't know how to make my own envelopes. It would be cool. So let's glue these together. And using 2 pieces like this makes it sturdy enough to act as a card blank. If we were to use 1 piece on its own, it's a little bit too thin, but 2 stuck together is perfect. I also really like this mini slimline size because I find it's another size and shape that's quite easy to design for. That's probably one of my favourite parts of making cards. It's designing how the front will look once I've got my base done. Okay, so that's the card blank. And then let's do a piece for the inside, just to give it some extra sturdiness, and because it might be a little bit difficult to read if you're going to write on top of this patterned paper. So what I've got in the drawers next to me, I just keep a pile of kind of scrap card and scrap paper, and then when I need something to stamp on or something to use for this purpose, for example, I can just grab a strip, like an offcut of whatever I've used, whatever project this was from. and then I'll have that as a panel inside the card. I probably want to trim it down a little bit so you can see the tree paper a bit more on either side. So for the height, maybe we want to come up to there. I use my craft mat here to get straight lines when I've not drawn the full line. If I've made a mark but I want it to be straight along the bottom, then I will use my mat to measure. And I decided I wanted to cut a piece off the side too to trim it down. So this bit I can do by eye because I can check visually that it's the same width all the way down. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that's perfect. Just glue that down. Okay, now the inside is done, let's design the front. So I think because we've got trees inside, it might be nice to have a tree on the front. And then for this one I've used Have a Sweet Christmas, so let's have Christmas treats for that one. So we want to get some treats on there. Should we put like a cute little present? It looks like a giant present underneath the tree. I'm okay with that. A giant candy cane, yes, definitely. And then let's have some little sweets dancing around the page. Should we have one up there? It's too much yellow near the star. Swap that around. Yeah, I think that looks cute. So let's start to adhere the pieces. Sometimes I'll glue some pieces down flat and then have other pieces raised up to create just a bit of variation. And then sometimes it's a little bit like a jigsaw puzzle, so I want to have it raised up on the bottom but then just glue on the top so that it can overlap the tree nicely. So if I have foam tape on the bottom, a little bit of glue on the top, then that should sit nicely there next to the tree. And then for the candy cane, behind or in front. I might have it behind actually. Let's just glue that down flat. And then for the sweets, maybe I'll glue them down flat too, because they've got enough of a border to help them pop off the page against the bold background. So all of these elements, the ephemera and the pattern papers, the artwork is created by me and my husband James. So we do some of our designs digitally and some are hand drawn, and then we make the patterns digitally. I use Procreate and Photoshop, and my husband uses Adobe Illustrator. And all of our products are made in the UK. The ephemera we print and cut ourselves, and our paper packs are printed locally to us, and they're made from FSC certified paper and carbon captured paper, which means that trees are planted for each I think it's each ton of paper that the printer buys from the manufacturer. They plant trees to offset the carbon involved in that manufacture. So with everything that I do in our business, I try and be aware of the impact on the planet, and I try and make things as eco-friendly as I possibly can. So when you buy our card kits and paper packs, they'll come packaged in I want to say plastic bag, but it's not plastic, it's PLA, which is a type of eco-plastic. It's cornstarch based. I'll show you. Yeah, it's quite crinkly. So it says this bag is made in the UK from compostable PLA. So that can go in your food waste bin because it's compostable. And then I also use glassine, which is pressed paper, which I think looks really pretty. So those are both eco-friendly. And then for mailing, I use tissue paper and cardboard boxes, which are both recyclable. So I try and do what I can to avoid extra plastics. So there we go. I hope that was helpful to give you an idea of how to use the card kit. So making your 4 mini cards, and then also how to make additional cards. So what you'll find, that once you've made your 4 from the kit, you'll have lots and lots of paper and toppers left over, so you can just carry on crafting using the papers themselves as card blanks. So thank you for watching and joining me today to craft, and I hope that you have fun making your lovely Christmas cards. Bye for now!